What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
BlueNote Fan Report. It is a Wednesday, and we are doing an edition of the BlueNote Fan Report with Guy and Justin Scott. Hey, Justin, how are you?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I am doing great. How are you doing, man? Are you doing good?
I am doing good, man. I'm ready for this show.
I'm going to ask you on the show every time now, man, based on some conversations that we've had. You know I love you to death, bud, right?
Yeah, man, of course.
Right? Today, oh, man, I've had a day and a half the last couple of days. My trip is less than a week away. This time next week, I'm driving to Billings, Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm on my way to Billings, Montana. If not, I might be there by now. But, yeah, I'm on my way to Billings, Montana. I thought I had a float trip set up, but that kind of went away because it was too far away. But about a month ago, I ordered some pants. Or not a month ago. On the 17th of August, I ordered some pants from Men's Warehouse. Right? Because I'm a taller guy with a kind of – I'm getting bigger, but I usually have a 34, 36 inch waist. So it's hard to find pants in my length, width and length, right? For some reason. Yeah. And I had to order them online. They tell me they're shipping them. And then all of a sudden I get a message the other day saying on the 2nd, FedEx put them on the USPS and they might get here on the 17th, which is the day after I leave. So I spent 2 days. I spent 2 days on the phone with Men's Warehouse, going around and around and around. And finally, basically they told me, go to the store. They're going to give you pants. And they gave me, basically I got $140. I bought $44 pants. They gave me 2 pairs of $140 pants they didn't charge me for. Right? They made it right. Finally. It took them a while. But somebody figured it out and made it right. And that, that's what we're missing in the corporate world anymore. It's making things right. Doesn't matter. When the mistake's not on the customer, you make it right with the customer first. And that's the way I think it should be. And we try and do that here on the show. We make a mistake, we try and make it right one way or another. You asked for a show today. I said, sure, why not? I got some time before I got to go drive. I'm way behind in what the money I need, but I'll get there. I'm pretty sure I have faith. I got one. Let's see. Today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I got 6 days worth of driving. I don't think I can drive on Tuesday because I got some appointments and things to do. But and then at 8:00 Tuesday night, I'm on a plane. The plane. I'm excited. I am excited about the live shows. I think I'm going to start working on some TikToks on them and try and get those out and start getting some more stuff. I'm going to post the companion lives, the companion, onlines once I'm on the mainland, because the way I have to do it is I've got to post 4 separate shows. So the links are going to be different. Yeah. Right. So I want to make sure that I kind of work on that and kind of get the links up and that stuff up. But no, I'm excited about it. And that brings us to the first thing. It's September. training camp, the 18th, a week away. Training camp is a week away, right? Basically, right at a week away.
Yep. Basically, pretty much a week away. Yep.
Yeah. So, are you excited for the season?
Oh, I'm getting hyped, man. I was looking back in August, and I'm just like, man, it seems like forever, and now we're already in September, and I think August pretty much flew by for the most part for me, but September, as soon as we know it, the live shows are going to be here, and the Blues season is going to be underway, and I think many Blues fans are very excited, including myself.
Yeah, I know in some of the national media and even on this show, there's been a little bit of a like a downturn, not this enthusiasm that you and me are having, but a little bit of like a pullback, right? Pushback.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, they're not as good as they think they are. And, Lance is really good at, I love Lance to death. Sometimes people were really negative. Sorry, Lance. But when it comes down to it, for me, I think people are missing. And I am really, really high on this team and what could happen. And I'm wondering if you know what I think people are missing.
Yeah, I see the way I think about things with this team is I'm super excited for it. I think for the fans that are a little bit more pull back, I know as you mentioned, Lance, love you, Lance, love to have you on the show. I don't mind that kind of skepticism. I think the thing that pulls me away from that a little bit is we got Jim Montgomery, and the most winningest coach.
The Montgomery effect, right there. That's what I think everybody's missing. I think the Montgomery effect is not being taken into account like it needs to be, right? Mm-hmm. And I brought up like, and even you've pushed back on me this a little bit with Robert Thomas, saying, I said he was a 94-point player last year. That's the pace that he was at, right? Mm-hmm. However, I'm saying you take that first 20 games out, and I'm going to do that now, right? I'm going to try and figure this out. I don't remember exactly when Montgomery came in, but I can figure this out. Let's go here. We're gonna go to stats. I'm gonna do it while we're talking.
It was a game against it was the game against New York. Yeah, the Rangers was the first game.
Right.
He came in, and that was the first game I think against New York. Right. Right. It wasn't the second.
My game.
And I think we kind of touched about that a little bit on our last show. And I think me and Lance kind of agreed why your stance was a little different on like the whole, like you have to kind of eliminate the 20 games. And the reason that I gave that kind of wasn't like that crazy to me was because Robert Thomas was the one guy who was actually doing anything for St. Louis during that time when Bannister was here. Okay. So like he took this team and pretty much put them on his back alone, pretty much. During that time.
Yes and no, and the reason for, and I brought this up before, but I don't think people. I don't think it got. Hold on. It's not giving me like normally it gives me the like the calendar where I can see what games were played for that day, but it's not showing me that. Mm-hmm. So I gotta figure out what day he started playing coaching for the Blues.
It was it before the Christmas?
November 24th.
Okay, yeah. I do kind of remember because it was my birthday month. I knew that.
So, going up to November 23rd, right?
Mhm.
The Blues had played 22 games, were 9-12-1. They had a .432 points percentage. They had scored 54 goals and had given up 74. They scored 52 and given up 74. So the goals for was 2.36, and the goals against was 3.36. Right?
Mhm.
Now, let's let me do this. Go back. So I'm going to bring up another NHL page, right? And so I can have them back to forth and kind of compare them. So give me a second. Teams, and then we'll get you'll see where I'm going with this in a second, right?
Mhm.
So that was November 24th. November 24th is when he was hired. So from November 24th, when he was hired, right,
Mhm.
until the end of the season, that means he coached 60 games. In those 60 games, the Blues were, are you ready for this? I don't think people realize this. The Blues were 30, 18, and 7 for 77 points for a 642 points percentage. So they went from a 432 points percentage to a 632 points percentage for that period. Now, overall, it was a little less, but that's the period. That was how great it was. Now, remember, they were 236 and 336, scoring 2 in the third, giving up 3 in the third. They went from scoring 2 in the third to scoring 3 in a third, 3.3, 1 goal per game more,
Mm-hmm.
and giving up 2.62, almost a little bit more than half a goal less.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that's there. Let's go to our skaters. Let's go for the first one. We go to all franchises, go down to the St. Louis Blues, and we go to by game, and we go back to November 23rd. November 23rd. November 23rd. I guess I didn't click on the St. Louis Blues like I wanted. Okay, here we go. Up to this point, from October 4th to November 23rd, right? Mm-hmm. Robert Thomas had only played in 10 games. I think this is where he was hurt a little bit, right?
Yeah, he did get hurt a little bit.
Okay, so this is where he gets hurt. But he scored 9 points. He had 1 goal and 8 assists with a -5 for a 0.9 per game. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's a less than goal per game player at this point. Then actually I did it on the wrong sheet. Dang. So we come back here. Let me go back and change this real quick. October and go with skaters by game. St. Louis, give me a second. I gotta change. I didn't put it on the right page. Didn't put the page in the right spot. So that was Thomas there, right?
Mm-hmm.
9 points. Now bear in mind, Cairo at this point was at 22 games with 18 points for a +2, so it was .082, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go back here. Go to November 24th. Oh, well, let me because of this one. Okay, here we go. April 17th. I think that was the end of the regular season. November 24th. Okay. So Robert Thomas goes from a .9, 10 games, to playing 60 games. So he basically, I think he played every game that Montgomery coached. Does that sound right? I think so. Didn't I say that they've done 60 games?
I thought Robert Thomas might have missed a couple games under Montgomery. I could be wrong, but I thought he did.
Well, look, I'll double check. He ended up with 20 goals, 52 points, 52 assists for 72 points. That was a 1.2 goals per game. Now, take that 1.2. We're going to take 1.2 and times it by 82. 98.4 points.
Mm-hmm.
So in that period, in the Montgomery era, he leaps forward from 0.9, almost a third of a goal a third of a point more per game in this period. Now, I do understand it was a little bit shortened because of his injury, that he'd only played 10 games, but it's still, it's showing you that the Montgomery effect was a lot bigger than people are realizing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if you take his entire year and go back out, he only projects to like 94 points, 93 points.
Mm-hmm.
Where in all actuality, he's almost a 99-point player.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a good point that you bring up, because I knew this too. I know kind of what we're talking about. It's kind of crazy to think about that you have Bannister for those 20 games or the 22 games. Just imagine if Montgomery was there for the full season, like he will be, this season and onward. What the Blues would be in the standings, with how good that they played when Montgomery came in. You said that they had a 630 something win percentage.
I'm bringing it up again, right?
So they had a
630 period that he coached, not overall, but for the period that he coached, right? Now they played 22 games. Yeah, no, I think Thomas came back as soon as Montgomery came in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm looking at that. I'm going to bring it up right now. Teams. I'm bringing it up again. So, I mean, this is actually, I know I've kind of hinted at it before, but this is actually like really important what we're talking about. And I think it should give people, they should step back and go, wait a minute here. Yeah, 60 games. He coached 60 games. Right?
Mm-hmm.
For 35, 18, and 7, 77 points for 642.
642, yeah.
Points percentage. Right? He coaches that. If he coaches those other 22 games at this rate, I want to say we ended up with 96 points. I think you're talking up there near second place. If not in second.
Yeah, you're talking. I don't know the numbers of where second place. I don't know where. Dallas finished with how many points they finished with. I think it was like 100 and. It was like 116.
I'm gonna figure this out real quick. So it was 100. So it's 82 points. So it's 164, right? Total.
Mm-hmm.
164, and I think if I do this right, I times it by 0.642. That's 105 points. Now, go back and see by season. 105 points would have put us tied for Los Angeles, a point under Dallas.
Okay. So, yeah.
Right? Which means we would have been third.
Yeah.
We would have gone above Colorado. Colorado had 102.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we would have if Montgomery did coach, and that's a big if, like you said. Anything we're talking about this now, but it's a big if. You don't know how those games go, but Montgomery's such a good coach, and I think in the grand scheme of things, like you said, I think that's what people are missing. If the team is not good enough in your eyes alone, just by looking at the roster, the thing that puts him over the hump is Montgomery being the most winningest coach in NHL. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
I think that puts it over the edge. So I think if anyone is skeptical, that should be the reason that you're like, the Blues are definitely a playoff team this year, is Montgomery having a full season.
oh, Tony, here's an Avs fan now, right? That's not relevant because the Avs rested their players the last 4 games. The Avs would have had 112 if not rested their stars. Last 5.
Nah.
I'm not going to go there. I don't think so, man. If you're in that fight now, Dallas had 106, Colorado had 102. Why don't you fight for that home playoff spot? Right? I mean, you're sitting there saying that they didn't fight for that home playoff spot, that they just gave it up. I
call a little BS there.
I gotta not go there. I think you're homering it as much as I'm homering it, bud. And I don't think I really the Avs. You and me, Justin, are working on. Okay, now, Tony, this is where were McKinnon and McCarr healthy scratches? I'm guessing they weren't.
I can't imagine that they were healthy scratches. McKinnon literally plays every game, and he plays. It feels like Nathan McKinnon plays 30 minutes a game.
He says he's not an Avs fan, but he's still sounding like one, right?
The Avs. The Avs. No NHL team. Let's get this straight, because I think I'm surprised Guy kept his composure. No NHL team. They're professionals. They're not just letting anything happen. They're not just saying, "Oh, I'm just not going to play my guys." That's not happening. I've seen Nathan McKinnon play.
He says they were healthy scratches. I guess I'd have to look it up. I almost can't see that. Hey, Wendy, how you doing, buddy?
I mean, first of all, the Avs were where they were placed because the Avs seemed to struggle in the beginning of the year. It seems like the Avs, they come in and you think that the Avs are going to be some juggernaut, and then they kind of end up stumbling in the beginning, and then they end up finding their footing, and then they end up taking off. After the beginning portion of the season, it seems like.
I'm pulling something up here. McKinnon played 79 games.
Okay,
so he missed 3. That kind of throws what you said up a little bit, right? So he didn't miss all 4, and McCarr played 80. So maybe the last two, but you were still within. You're still within that margin of why aren't you going for the home playoff spot?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. There's no excuses here. I mean, the Avs are a good team, but I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because you look at the stats, and we've talked about this before. I have brought it up. The Avs are generally carried by those 2 guys, McCarr and McKinnon. Look at the stats. The stats show it. The Nathan McKinnon and Cale McCarr are so far ahead of everybody else.
He's telling me to look at the stats, so that's what I'm going to do. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up. Give me a second. Might take me a moment.
I just feel like those 2 guys are so far ahead of everybody else. That's why I continue to say, like, the Avs, I don't see that depth from the Avs.
A lot of people do. I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of people do. They are looking at the Avs as the juggernaut in the West. Not me, but a lot of people are.
I mean, and that's fine. Like, don't get me wrong, that's fine. I get why they could say that, but they're not a juggernaut. I'm sorry. I don't care for their bottom six. Their bottom six is pretty useless to me, to be honest with you. Like I said, defensively outside the top pairing, there's not much there. Their goaltending is, we already talked about that numerous times. I'm not a big fan of their goaltending tandem.
Okay. So I'm looking back here. I'm going to April. So the last game they played was April 13th when the season went. So they didn't play the last 5 games. Now, the April 13th, they beat the Ducks. So they didn't lose to the Ducks. Like you said, these are their last 4 games. They beat the Ducks 4-2. They lost to the Kings 5-4. Vancouver beat them 4-1. And the Knights beat them 3-4. The Blues, going back to April 5th. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the last 5 games they played. They lost 5-4. Now, let's see here. Roster report. See if the roster, I'm bringing up the roster report. Roster report on, this was the last game of the season. McKinnon and this is the scratches. Oh, here we go for Scholar. I looked at the wrong one. So Nathan McKinnon was a scratch. Towes, McCarr. So they did the last game of the season. They did rest. I will say that. Right.
Yeah.
I will say that they did rest. So let's go
Yeah.
back to the next game. This is the game against the Ducks that they won 4-2. They beat. Oh, by the way, in that last game, the last Sunday, April 13th. So the next game, they lost against the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
McKinnon was, so the last 2 games, McKinnon and McCarr were, and Devon Tays were all healthy scratches. I'm seeing that. Okay. So they did rest some guys, and he is right. Right? They did rest some guys. Now, why was that decision made? Because it seemed to me like it was a wrong decision.
Yeah, clearly, because they lost.
They lost one of the last. And then let's go here to the Canucks game. Did they sit him here? Nope, they didn't sit. Did not sit him here. They set McKinnon there. Right? Game 80, they sat him. So 80, 81, 82, he sat. So that's it. So he sat the last 3 games of the season.
Can I also bring up that this also, the fact that you bring this up, that tells, you know what that tells me right there? I like I said, I don't think you said that you're an Avs fan, but you know what that tells me right there? If you're making that excuse for the Avs, you know what that tells me? That tells me the Avs have no depth. So if you're saying that the Avs don't have the points because Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar sat, then you're telling me that that's all Colorado has. That's what you're telling me. That's exactly what you're telling me.
I'm kind of with you there. We rock and roll this. I'm trying to get back here. I'm a Blues fan, and I disagree. The Avs are the deepest team in hockey. They are effing scary. They have the best D in the NHL and the best bottom 6 in the league. I don't agree with that at all.
Don't agree with that at all. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that.
Dallas and Vegas is the favorites to come out of the West this season. I could see that. No, the Avs are by far and away the best team in the West this year with the healthy Val and Gabe, no question about it.
Yeah, I mean, until
they on paper are a 125 pace team if healthy. I don't see that. I really
until Landeskog gets hurt again somehow.
Well, I mean, Lance, I feel with you. I kind of feel like that's part of it too, right? Landeskog probably isn't the same player from last season of hockey. He played. The injury is big, X factor, and it could be hard on the player to return to prime form. I'm with you. Landy isn't going to get hurt playing 16 minutes a night. Well, playing 16 minutes a night, he's not going to be that much of a factor, right? Hard to prove. the Avalanche are the best when Florida wins twice in a row. Kind of agree there.
Well,
right?
Well, let me bring this up. Sorry, guy. I don't mean to interrupt you. First of all, I get that we're talking about Colorado as like some juggernaut, some beast of the West. They've won one cup, and I don't want to hear it. They won the cup, and it was a goddamn fluke. I'm sorry. The Blues beat them if Bennington stays in that series. So it doesn't matter. It's a big if. It could happen. It could not happen. But the Avs, first of all, they beat up on a I don't remember who they played in the first round of that year in 22. But they beat that team, and then they played.
No, I thought they got took to 6 in that one. 5 or 6.
What? In the first series or in our series?
No, in the first series. Ours went 6. And we beat Minnesota in 5.
Yeah, we beat Minnesota. So that wasn't a fine test for us. I mean,
no, we beat him in 6. Take that back. We beat him in 6 because Ville Husso played the first 2 games and was just horrendous.
Awful. Yeah.
Bennington comes in and shuts them down.
Exactly. And then he looked Bennington might have even looked even better than he did in 2019. And that says a lot in 2022. If Bennington does not go out in that series against the Avs, the Blues probably beat the Avs.
All right.
With the way Bennington was playing, that guy was absolutely lights out. Colorado was getting so frustrated.
Yeah.
I was at game 3 when Bennington got hurt. That the absolute just air that got sucked out of Enterprise Center when Bennington went down was just amazing to see.
Hey, I want to shift gears a little bit. Great talk. I get it, but we're not an AF show. Okay, we're going to shift gears. So I want to talk a little bit about our live show on the 5th of October at Vitale's Hideaway in Morden, Illinois. We are going to do our season preview, right? Looks like, Justin, he went away. Hopefully he comes right back. I needed him for this. Give him a second. I don't think they'll go 50-50. I'm thinking it's going to be closer to 60-40. He got 30 games last year, and I think he'll get maybe 35 this year. There you go. You went away when I needed you the most.
Sorry, but I had to. It was getting too dark, and I had the window open. So sorry for the glare, everybody, but I have to have the light on.
No. So on the 5th, we are doing our preview show, and it looks like, or I'm hoping, we're going to have Lance and Wendy there with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I talked to you a little bit about the format, and you voiced the concern about it. And I want to kind of, while we got 6-7 people here that follow us, I want to bring what the format is and see if they like it or not, right?
Okay.
So the way I want to do this, the way I want to do this show is our season preview is going to focus on the Central Division, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 4 of us are going to do our 8-1 in the Central Division. The way I want to do this is we're going to go 8-7 and then take a small break, and then we'll cover the Atlantic Division, right? Let everybody kind of say, they can either go 8-1 or, this is who I think is coming out of the Atlantic or what they think about the Atlantic Division, right? Then we do 8 and 7, 6 and 5. After 5, we take a little break. I'm trying to drum up some commercials. Might read them off or something. Do some stuff for Vitale's or that. But and then we'll come. Then we'll do the Metro. Same thing. We'll do 4 and 3. Cover the Pacific, and then finish with 2 and 1 in the Central. And then give our, who we think is going to come out of the West, the East, and who the Stanley Cup champions are going to be. That is the format that I'd like to follow.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that? Justin, you voice your concern on that.
Well, I mean, first of all, like it wasn't too much of a concern. The fact that I'm hearing of it now, over text, it sounds a little, different. So
Okay.
now that I'm hearing it, I like the format. It's not a terrible format. It's just hopefully we can, get it all in one. I do like that though. That's not bad.
All right. I did see on X that Landeskog is moving great. I think Megan Engley said that he is skating rings around McKinnon. If that's true, that's scary indeed, and possible. But then again, preseason hype, you never know. The Avs have a good offensive decor, but they definitely aren't the best defensemen in the league. No, they're not even close.
Thank you, Lance. I've said it for a while. Everybody's a big Cale Makari guy. I get it. He's great. He's great offensively. He's not that great defensively. I'm sorry. That's my hot take.
Lance, you're right. We do need to put – now, I do expect this live show to go 2 to 3 hours. I don't have a problem with that. Live show, you want to get people involved. Hopefully people are there. A 3-hour show, it really, in essence, isn't that long. It sounds long, but it's not. It goes quick, right? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to the Atlantic, Metro, and Pacific, we will put a 15-minute time limit on each one of those divisions, right? Mm-hmm. So now, when it comes to the Central Division, I'm not going to put a time limit on the teams. I'm going to follow it and move it along, but I'm not. And I think by doing that, everyone gets to talk. So I know, Justin, you want to do your 8-to-1s, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But if another host or panelist just wants to say, "Oh, I think this one's coming," that's fine too, right? Mm-hmm. But we're going to cover it, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah, the other divisions, just the Central Division will be the main focus.
Of who will make the playoffs, knowing is the damn who finishes in the Metro and Atlantic. Yeah, kinda, right? That's why I think Marianne says I think it'll be tight. I think it will too. And I want to get that format written down so we can follow it and have it out to all you guys ahead of time. Justin, I'm going to make this your call today. Want me to hop on with you guys right now? This is from Wendy.
Hey, I'm fine with that. Wendy, you can
your call.
Come on the show.
Your call. Yay or nay? Live or die?
Yeah, I'm fine with that, man. If he wants to join the show,
the last link you got should work. If it doesn't, let me know. Come on, bud.
I think sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Hey, you know what, Justin? We need to be very focused on putting each other on the spot, right? I want you to put me on the spot just like I'm going to put you on the spot. And that's what's going to make this show as good as it is. Mm-hmm. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Right? You can put me on the spot just as much as I put you on the spot. And again, I do think, if you want to do the 8-to-1 in each division, that's fine. There's no problem with it. It is more, but let each panelist kind of get their feel for what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And we keep our focus on the Central.
Yeah, right? I don't like I said, the main focus will be the Central. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a robotic 8-to-1, list every team. We don't have to do like that, but we can be a little bit more organic with it. But I think even though we're a Blues podcast, I think covering and doing a prediction of different divisions is cool because well, like you said, you kind of have to in a sense, because if you're gonna talk about like what teams are gonna be Stanley Cup contenders, what teams you see in the finals.
You play every team in the league at least twice.
Exactly. So
right, a minimum of twice. So
I think covering each division. Right? But we don't have to go in depth.
So you do have to talk about you do have to go about that. Kyle Mead, Alaska Kyle, Marianne Holmes, Lance Scott, Kenny Grout, and Gabe Overture. Thank you. I think this show is going to be a lot of fun. Who are you thinking are going to be the opening player? Actually, Mary, it's a little too early to talk about that. Right?
What was the question, Trey?
Because training camp is going to be important. They inked 2 players today to their entry-level contracts, Carbonell and one other. I forget who it was. There's one thing we got to talk about here before the end of the show, and I'll pull it up here in a little bit. But I think who it's going to be is a little early for that. I think preseason, there are 4 jobs that I think are available, and I think preseason is going to determine that. See the D performance the Broncos put on the rookie Cam Warren. No, I did not. I'm not a football guy, Tony, so I did not see that, my friend.
I did not as well. I am an Eagles fan. I did watch my Eagles get the W, but not that.
Hey, Wendy!
What's up?
Right? Did you hear what I said the format for the October 5th was going to be?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think? Do you like it? Dislike it?
I think it would work. We did something kind of similar last year, but we did stick mainly towards the Central Division if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But I think it should work.
So you're covered. So we're gonna rank the Central from 8 to 1, right? That's already been established.
Yeah.
So we do 8 and 7, and we don't time limit this. We give it enough time that everyone gets a chance to talk and tell what they think. Then after that, maybe plug Vitelli's Hideaway, and then we spend 15 minutes on the Atlantic.
Okay.
Right? And if you want to go, well, here's my Atlantic 8 to 1. Great. If you want to go, well, here are the teams I think are going to make the playoffs out of Atlantic. However, each analyst wants to talk about the Atlantic, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But we limit it to 15 minutes. Then we go another plug for Vitelli's, and then we go to 6 and 5 for the Central, back to 6 and 5. Do the break, do our little break, then do the Metro, same way, 15 minutes. Do make sure I get the numbers right. 4 and 3. Do the Pacific. Now the Pacific, I'm going to go to 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's in the West. Yeah.
I think we may have lost a guy.
Maybe. and then obviously we would do the 1 and 2. You here, guy?
Okay. Am I back?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, yeah, I see. My internet's a little wobbly right now. So we do 4 and 3. On the Pacific, we spend a little bit more time because it's our side of the West, so that's going to be important. Maybe 20 minutes. And then we do 2 and 1, right? Mm-hmm. And then after that, we go over, who's coming out of the West, who's coming out of the East, who's in your Stanley Cup Finals, who's your winner, who's some of your award finalists, things like that. And then maybe hot takes at the end. I'm okay with the 3-hour show, 3 to 4 hour show. That's what we did last time, Win.
Mm-hmm.
And it never felt like that.
Yeah.
Did it? Did it feel that long?
I don't think so. It did feel long. I could tell it was starting to feel long at some points in it, but it didn't feel completely too terrible.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm doing the best I can. When we don't have breaks, commercial breaks or things like that where we can get that moment of breath. We're going to have to build that in somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're going to have to build in a couple of minutes of breaks, or maybe I find someone who can read a commercial or something, do a plug for Vitelli so we get to breathe for a few minutes, right? Or we put it on because this time I can have a crowd cam, and if we got people, we can put the crowd cam up.
Yep.
All right, we'll be right back. And that'll work.
Yeah, I think obviously the substance of it is quite a bit, and obviously you want to keep people engaged, and like you said, I don't think it has to be like a robotic 8 through 1, but if you want to do that, you can also do that. Yeah. But I think I think, like you said, like more organic. Like you could say, like, you know, if you see specific teams from the Atlantic, the Metro, if you see those teams, you know, making a push, you could just say something like that, and you can just leave the bottom teams out. But we'll probably touch those a little bit. But the main focus, yes, will be the Central Division.
Yeah, and I think that format will work. And, you know, if we can figure out something with, you know, small breaks in there, right, that will definitely help out. I can always, you know, put in a what do you call it? Like a backup says, you know, the BlueNote Fan Report will be right back after, you know, in 60 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever, to give us a moment of break. Pavel is scaring true shit out of me this offseason. He needs to just keep his mind on the Blues. Okay, scary, I'm lost. What are you talking about? Is something going on with Pavel that I don't know?
I don't know. That sounds like you caught some Facebook article scam thing.
Sounds like it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen or heard anything that would
I haven't either.
push me one way or the other with him. That I know of.
I mean, Bush. Right? I think Bush has already made that like publicly known that he's like. I think he loves playing here. So
says he has a lot of drama BS going on. I don't know.
I don't think I heard that. I can look it up real quick. I don't think I've heard anything about Bush having any trouble or anything that we should be concerned about, but maybe. Where did you find this? I think I will be right back.
What you're talking about, Scary.
Okay, are you back now, guy? Uh-oh. We lost Guy. Uh-oh. Guy will be back momentarily. I'm gonna... Okay. Guy, you here? You good?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Wendy's back too. Welcome back.
Yep.
I don't know what stuff you're talking about. Just personal life, nothing. But where are you hearing this, Scary? I haven't seen anything or anything like that he's got any issues with that. I mean, maybe you know something I don't know, but I haven't seen anything. I haven't heard anything from any of the Blues reporters or, you know, anything that came up that would make you question anything with Bush. Oh, by the way, I can bring this up. You remember somebody, I forget who it was in the chat, brought up Dinko and kept saying, "Oh, he's going back to Russia. He's going back to Russia," right? Because Jamie Rivers just said he went back to Russia. Well, guess who's on the Blues training camp roster? They're Jinko. He just went home, right? He needed a break. He went home. He's back.
Yeah, I don't see anything on Bush.
Yeah, I think this will be his breakout year.
Who? Zarenko or Bush?
No, Zarenko.
Oh, Zarenko. Sorry.
Yeah, I think he will have a breakout down in Springfield.
I hope so.
Right. I think we're gonna have 1 to 4 the best 4 goalies in the league.
Yeah,
I
the
think they're going to be that
strong.
The problem is one of them's going to get traded, right? One of those 4, well, one of those 3 are going to get traded.
Well, and it's kind of like, if you think about it like this, guy, you have to kind of think about it like it's almost like the Zach Bolduc thing in a way. Like everybody hated seeing Zach Bolduc go, and I think it will be a time will tell kind of thing with Bolduc, but it's like you have to trade something that you have a surplus in to get something that you need. So the Blues traded a young guy, a winger that they had a surplus in. They have a bunch of wingers, and they got a right defenseman that they needed, a young right defenseman that they needed. So it's kind of something like that, I think.
I did not see your post. I'm looking on your page. I don't know where you posted it, so I'm not sure. I didn't see anything that you had put earlier, and I don't see anything like, unless you put something in our group that I didn't get to see. And I'm checking now to see if there's something I missed. No. So Mary, I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about.
So, what's your guys' prospect roster looking like going into the showcase this week?
Actually, it looks pretty good. Hold on. Let's see if I can bring it up for you.
I'm liking what I saw from the Hawks today during their first practice.
Who's some names out there, Wendy? You got some names?
Lashunov, Renzel, Moore, Nick Lourdes, who scored 70-plus goals this past season in the OHL. Merrick Van Acker, who was a first-round pick last year. We have good, notable top-end prospects coming to the tournament. Our goaltending might be the weaker point because Drew Comesso is not going to be there. He officially graduated out of doing the prospect tournament, which is nice to see. And defensively, the Hawks prospects look really solid.
I have the Blues list.
Okay.
Justin Carbonneau, the first round pick from this year. Zach Dean, Anton Dorian, Delbert Dvorsky, number 10th overall pick. Adam Gicho, the number 1 pick from last year. Oh man, don't even ask me. It's like Alexandre Kamiski, Kaskimaki. Kaskamaki, yeah, something like that. Yari Perchek, I think he was also one of last year's picks or 2 years ago's picks. Dylan Peterson, Simon Robertson, Jacob Stansel, Otto Stanberg, another first-round pick. Sam Strange was the forwards. Defense, Michael Butchiner, Quentin Burns, Lucas Fisher, Marc-Andre Gaudet. They've been talking about him for a while, but I don't know if he's coming. Adam Jarek, that's the one that was the pick last year, I think.
Yeah.
Yurchek.
Adam Yurchek.
Anthony Kirher, Theo Lindstein, he was one of the first-round picks from 3 years ago. Will McLazick, and then Cranley and Kopakowski, which I think was this year's like 6th-round pick, are the goalies. So I mean, there's a lot of first-round picks in there.
I would say what the Hawks have going for themselves because they match up on Friday, isn't it?
I think so.
Blues.
We play them on September 13th.
So Friday.
Yeah.
So for the Blackhawks, they have Nathan Bilm, who was a 6th-round pick this year. Ryan Gardner. Ryan Green, who did make his debut last year in the NHL. Parker Holmes. Nick Lourdes, who obviously had 70 goals last year in the OHL and was a former 3rd-round pick. Martin Misiak. Oliver Moore, who was a former 1st-round pick. Jack Pridham, who was drafted last year. Owen Robinson. AJ Spellisy, who kind of shined last year in the preseason for the Blackhawks. He almost made the roster.
By the way, Saturday is the 13th.
Oh, 13th.
Saturday's the 13th. I was going to.
So we play Minnesota on Friday and the Blackhawks on Saturday.
So, and Aiden Thompson, who signed his ELC after college at the end of last year. Merrick Van Acker, who was a 1st-round pick last year. Austin Cumby, who was drafted this year. Tage Harding. Can't remember what year he was drafted. I think it was last year. Ty Henry was a 6th-round pick from last year. Dmitry Kuzmin, acquired by the Hawks in a trade from Winnipeg. Artem Lashunov, who played 18 games last year in the regular season at the NHL level. Ryan Mast and Sam Renzel, who frankly I think is going to win the who will be a finalist for the Calder Trophy. That will finish up the defense and our goaltending. It's where I kind of question because I don't know as much on the goaltending for us this year because both of them were drafted this year and last year.
Cranley has been a question mark, so he's not solid, but this Koprowski, he's the one they took a flyer on in the 6th round, and I'm like, okay, so we'll see. I think our goaltending is a huge question mark too. I still think Wendy, I'm sorry, man. I think everyone's overlooking Snuggerud for some reason. And I think the one thing that you have to look at with Snuggerud is his age. He's 21. He has played 3 years at a very, very high level. And now I don't know if you could sit there and say that the NCAA is on par with minor leagues, but it's definitely on par with juniors. And he's played, at a high level. Played on the first line in the playoffs in the first round of the playoffs against this, President's Trophy team and did well. I think he had 3 points or 4 points, whatever it was, in 7 games. I think people are underestimating him, and I hope so because he could come out. We were talking. I don't know. You didn't get it. We were talking. The last show that we did. You and Lance and Justin to somewhat put a damper on how I was feeling towards what Robert Thomas could do, his point totals, right? And we went over it. If you take his point total from his point percentage or his points per game from when Montgomery took over and take that through an entire season, he's a 99-point player last year. Right? 99 points. The games that he missed, he played 70. So the 12 games he missed was all during the bad period for the Blues. And he was only a 0.9. In those 10 games, he was a 0.9 per game player. I really do think that the Montgomery effect here is going to carry over if, and I'm not happy with it, but if Snuggerud is on that top line with Buchnevich and with Thomas, somebody's got to get those goals. Because Thomas could get 70 to 80 assists. He has the ability. And if he's getting that many assists, who's getting those 70 to 80 goals? Take 20 of them off the power play. Okay, take that away. You still got 50 goals coming. Who's getting them? Right? Who's getting those 50 goals of his line mates? And I think that needs to get taken into consideration. Maybe he gets some of them points on the shorthanded because he does play shorthanded a little bit, but not. I still think you use the 20 points from the power play and the short. Put them together, and I think 20 is high, to be honest with you.
Well, and I think I countered that by saying that, like I was saying, since he is 21, I get that, and I get that factor of everything, and he did come into the playoffs and slide right in, and I think he'll be fine. But I really, really do not think Snuggerud is going to be a mainstay on that top line. I think he's going to fluctuate up and down that lineup. So while I also agree with you, I also, like I said, I'm being realistic in the fact of he's not going to be there for all the games with Robert Thomas. Not to say that
Gary
he can't.
said that Thomas is no longer going to be a point per player game. He's only given him 81 points. If I'm reading that right. Yeah, 81. And again, Scary, I think you're discounting part of the Montgomery effect. Montgomery's an offensive coach. He believes in being offensively aggressive, defensively responsible. If you're controlling the puck, the other team can't. If the other team doesn't have the puck, they can't score a goal. Control the puck. And well, he basically had more than that last year. I mean, if you project him out, he was at for the whole season, he would have been 94 points. So you're taking him away. He will play 77 games. I think he plays all 82. I don't see a reason why Thomas doesn't play 82 games.
I mean, that's wishful thinking, but I mean, you look at that's wishful thinking. I love to say that he does play 82 games, so that would be great. And I definitely think if he plays 82 games, he's definitely up there in points. But you got to imagine that, there's times that hits go wrong. I mean, look at Dylan Holloway, his injury. That didn't look like anything when he got hurt. And then come to find out that he tore his what was it? He tore his guy. Help me out here. What did he tear?
Who was it?
Holloway.
Holloway. Oh, he tore his ab. He tore his abdomen off, right?
Was it ab? It was something hip bone. He tore something from his hip bone.
Yeah.
So and the injury, it didn't look like much. He just went into the boards awkwardly and got hit. So anything can happen. But if Robert Thomas plays 82 games, there's no way I'm thinking Robert Thomas is only putting up 81 points. There's no way.
Well, he put up 81 last year. Oblique. There you go. Chris Yockey said it. Oblique.
Okay. Yeah, he tore his oblique from his hip bone, and that didn't look like anything.
Played 70 games last year and scored 81 points.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying 77, he's got to be more than that, right? He has played 82 once. And just recently, in 23-24, he played 82 games, had 86 points. Plus 9, 40. And that was on a defensive-styled team. He'll miss time after the Olympics. We don't even know if he's going to the Olympics. He could. Right? I do think Holloway's going to have a breakout year. Holloway, here's the thing. Don't sit back on this. Holloway and Boberg are in contract years. Trust me, that affects players. And good players respond. Wendy, would you agree?
I mean, I could basically have a statement where, yeah, players have, if in a contract year, if you're a good player, you're going to have a breakout season. Look at what happened with Ryan Donato on the Blackhawks last year, who put up over 30 goals on the team, and he's never even his high was never 20 goals before.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and I think a good thing to think about is, realistically, Broberg and Holloway, I would say they had a breakout year this season or last season, but I think they were talking about it on, was it on BK and Ferrari? I don't remember where, but they talked about Holloway, and it was on the radio, and they were talking about Holloway and how they don't see Holloway maybe as a crazy high player where he scores maybe 30 goals or over 30 goals, but he's a guy that can consistently probably give you 25 to maybe 30 goals a season. And I do think that you're going to only see an extension of Holloway. I think that last season was the breakout for him to show everybody that, oh, yeah, he is a good player, and Edmonton really messed up. And I think that he's only going to get better. Same with Broberg.
I see where you're going, but I disagree. Holloway's only 22, I think. 23. He was born in 23. He's 23. He's 23. he's still doing this. Okay, he's not plateauing. He's rising. And last year, 77 games, 26 points, 37 assists, 26 goals, 37 assists, 63 points, plus 2-1. For his career, he's got 166 games, 81 points, plus 20. He broke out last year. I think he's got another breakout in him. I think he can exceed last year. And again, he missed time. He did miss a little bit of time. And he got injured right at the end of the season too, right?
Yeah,
right?
it was
the entire playoff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a few games. But you didn't really disagree with me though, even though you said you did, because that's kind of what I said. Because you said that it could still be a breakout. Yeah, I think Dylan Holloway could definitely do better than what he did last season. But I think as of the word breakout, when you're talking about breakout, last year was his breakout year. And I think he's only going to extend that.
That's fair enough. Right? So looking at Blues last year, how many Blues played all 82 games? Anybody got a guess?
I'm gonna say I think Braden Shin played all 82. I could be wrong. So I'm gonna go with one at least. I'm gonna go with maybe two.
Two? Wendy?
Two, maybe. I could be wrong. That's probably undershooting it.
How many
Blues had played all 82 games last season?
Maybe 3.
You're both under. It was 4.
Okay.
Right? I'll name 3 of them and then see if you can come up with the 4th one. Braden Shen, you mentioned him, right?
Yep.
Marianne Holmes mentioned the other one. Kairu or Kudu. Yeah, I think he meant Kairu.
Yeah,
right?
Kairu. Yep.
Who are the other 2?
Wasn't a weird one Sutter?
You got it, Suter.
I remember seeing
Suter?
Sutter was a weird 82 game player this year.
Yeah.
Is the other one Jake Neighbors?
Yep. Neighbors.
Jake Neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah, she meant Kairu. She did.
Yeah.
Kairu. Yeah, she meant Kairu. No, so yeah. Suter, 82 games. Shen, 82 games. Kairu, 82. Neighbors, 82. Torpachenko, 80. Falk, 78. Holloway, 77. Bushnevich, 76. Walker, 73. Bolduc, 72. Vaska, 70. Thomas, 70. Boberg, 68. Sundquist, 67. Pareko, 64. Joseph, 60. Fowler, 51. Saad, 43. Tucker, 31 or 38. Letty, who was injured, 31. Texier, 31. I see Texier getting traded somewhere this year. He's the odd man out. I don't see him on the. I mean, he makes the roster, but I don't see him getting regular time, right? And then everyone else from Kessel on down was either traded or got sent down with one exception. Snuggerud came in late, right?
And I think might add that I know we're not talking about it right now. Might I add that it's impressive that a guy like Braden Shen, obviously he's getting older, and a guy like Jake Neighbors, the way that they play, and they play 82 games in a season. With the way that they play, so physical and everything like that, just crazy. I'm telling you.
Neighbors, for me, feels like he's been hampered a little bit, right? Like, I feel like Neighbors could do better than what he has. And I'm hoping that – so he hasn't had – to me, I'm hoping he hasn't had his breakout year yet, right? I'm hoping that that's what this year is. So in his career, first year, nine games, 2 points. Second year, 43 games, 10 points. 2 years ago, 77 games, 38 points. Last year, 82 games, 46 points. To me, the guy's got to be a 60 to 70 point player, right?
Well, Well, I'll tell you right now. I think that we might see a pretty decent. I'm not going to say a crazy jump, but I think a pretty good jump because he's going to be playing with. I think a guy to watch is going to be Pia Suter. Definitely going to be a guy to watch, and he's going to be playing with Suter, I'm sure, on that third line. So the way Suter plays, he's not a. I don't think he's a flashy guy, but he's a guy that works his ass off, and I think that's the same way Jake Neighbors is, and I think those two guys might get along great.
Yeah, I hope so. Right? I hope so. I'm really looking forward. We've got a couple of last things to talk about. I'll let you talk about this one, Justin. You're the one that brought it to me while I try and pull up the other one that I want to talk about. Go ahead, Justin, on you.
Sorry, I cut out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, this is on you. Well, what you brought up to me to talk about today.
I was actually asking Wendy what his thoughts were on Pia Suter on that idea that I just brought up about Neighbors and
bring that
Suter,
up and then we'll go to the other topic. Go ahead, bud.
It should work. Suter's definitely one of those players who are a utility player who can slot into any spot on the lineup. He does have some wheels on him. He knows how to skate. He has good skating ability. With him being only on the Hawks for the one season and it was in COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while now, but I know his game really hasn't changed much since leaving the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I just know that I've heard nothing but good things about Suter, about him being just a workhorse and not being the flashiest guy, but he works his ass off. And I think Jake Neighbors and him, I think what that third line needs to be for the Blues this season is they need to pester the shit out of the goalie this season. That should be their mission this season, to pester the absolute hell out of their goalie. All right, Guy. Sorry, buddy.
Okay, so you brought up a topic you wanted to talk about. You are more than welcome to talk about that topic. Well, okay, I found what I wanted. Okay, so you brought up a topic to me. It is on you, Bubby.
Me?
Do you remember what it was?
About the signing? About the rejection of the contract or extension?
No.
For
Krill.
No, Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kaprizov. Kaprizov turning down his deal. Did you see that, Wendy? Or his extension?
Oh yeah, I saw it because it made me recall back to last off season when the Athletic reported that the draft on that in the 2024 draft on the draft floor, the word was Kirill Kaprizov wants to be a Chicago Blackhawk, and now it's really making me think, oh, he just rejected the highest paid contract. Maybe he wants to come to Chicago next offseason.
Possible.
Possible. I mean, they would have the money for it.
I said this right here.
Yeah, he wants a ring.
He's chasing a ring. Now, if he's chasing a ring, he's not going to Chicago. They're way too far off. Right?
I think by then, if the Hawks were able to land Kirill, I think you'll be seeing the turning point for the Hawks to the playoffs.
But is he willing to wait another 3 years?
It's not waiting another 3 years. If the Hawks are going after Kirill Kaprizov, they are ready to compete.
Oh, I guarantee you that the Hawks are going to definitely be in on that talking for sure because they're going to have the money to do it. Yeah. The whole decision is going to be up to Kaprizov. It's whether or not he's going to want to do that.
He's going to go max. I think Lance has said that he, maybe he only wants a 3 or a 4 year deal.
I think it is.
I kind of see that. If you're chasing rings, you're not signing a long-term deal. And that's what it feels like to me. Scary said that his dad said he wants to be in New York. I could see that, but New York might be in a retool, not a rebuild, but a retool. We'll cover this real quick. Mary says, Guy, who do you see is our two-way players? Also for Justin. I honestly don't care. I think it's overrated. I think a two-way player is overrated. I mean, if you want to, who's our two-way? Shin. Shin is, Neighbors is, Thomas in a way.
I actually think Thomas is. I think from where he started to where he is now, I think you can incredibly tell him. I mean, from learning from guys like Ryan O'Reilly when he was here, for the I think he was only here for the short amount of time, but when Thomas was really getting elevated, but he really practiced that game, and I think he's worked on his faceoffs. He's worked at being better defensively as a center. I think Robert Thomas is a good example of a two-way guy that we have. Yeah. One of the better ones.
I think in this system, it's overrated. I think in this system, like I said, and no one's corrected me on this. Even the former players I've talked to, no one's corrected me on this. Montgomery plays offensively aggressive, defensively responsible. If you're playing that, do you need a two-way player? Do you need someone who's focused on defense? And I don't think you do. Right? You need someone who's more focused on the offense, who's puck control. Keep that puck on our stick. Don't give the puck away. Cut down on giveaways. Get the takeaways.
I actually don't mean to cut you off there, Guy. And actually, another good example that we didn't even mention, and I don't think he's still at the peak, but I like the guy, and I think, Guy really likes him. Jordan Kyrou, look at him. He had the best defensive performance of his career in St. Louis last season. He was what, a plus 22? The guy wasn't lazily skating back. He back checked on every single play that he turned the puck over, or a player turned the puck over. He was back checking. That, it shows effort. I think more so than being a two-way guy. I think it's just more so about showing the effort out there, like a Dylan Holloway, like a Jordan Kyrou, the guys who have speed that actually use it to their advantage instead of just doing it when they want to.
I can see that a little bit. So the other one I want to talk about, the other thing I want to talk about, Wendy, this is for you.
Hunger. Right? Here's another one. Oh my God, Scandella's the worst fucking defenseman, and I'm sorry, I'm going off. I'm pissed. I'm so sick and tired here. Scandella's so fucking bad. He can't play worth a shit. Fucking trade Scandella for a goddamn bag of pucks right the fuck now. It don't work that way, people.
I miss you, Golf King. I miss you, buddy. Marco Scandella retired this summer. Just recently retired and is hanging up his skates. I wanted to play that little clip there and wish him the best. I don't think he played for the Hawks, did he?
No,
he didn't.
Right. But Scandella was one of those players that got all the hate here. Mm-hmm. In all actuality, he shouldn't have.
He was a whipping boy, for sure.
Say again?
I said he was a whipping boy. He was one of the Blues whipping boys when he was here. Yep.
Yeah, and he really shouldn't have been. But again, this was the what inspired that rant. What inspired that rant? I just had to go there. Guys, we're at an hour and 20. Really only want to go an hour a day because I need to get back out and drive to make some money so I could come home in a week. Right? Well, at least be on the mainland in a week. Trying to do some fun stuff in Montana first before I head down to St. Louis and some other places. Going fishing down at Lake Pomme de Terre in southern Missouri. It's a little about an hour north of Springfield, I think. Really looking forward to that. I fished there as a kid. Meeting some friends in Little Rock, and just going to be doing a bunch before I get into St. Louis and we get to do these live shows. I'm really, really looking forward to the 5th. Keep putting the word out. Wendy, put the word out for your Blackhawks fans, man. Let's get some Blackhawks fans in there. We can even separate the place out. Blackhawk fans on one side and Blues fans on the other.
We'll put you in the Blackhawks section, okay?
Blackhawk section will be by the kitchen.
There you
go. Good show, though. Good show. I thought it was good. Wendy, thanks for joining us. Greatly appreciate you.
No
Anytime, like I said, sometimes we'll let you on, sometimes we won't, but always welcome to ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Greatly appreciate you, Justin. Thanks for asking me to do the show. I kind of needed it. It helped out, cleared my head. Like the last show, I needed it. I was in a bad space. And you guys helped me out. I was able to drive. I was able to get some things done. So thank you so much for that. Hopefully I'll drive and have a good night tonight. And, people be nice and I'll start getting tipped better. Who knows? I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We had a good show. Not getting as many likes as we used to, but Gabe Overturf, Kenny Grott, Lance Scott, Marianne Holmes, and Alaska Kyle. Thank you so much. For all those who like the show on YouTube, we greatly appreciate you. I just cannot see your names. And there's only one way to end this show.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
Got to give the girls a chance.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan for Windy City Hockey, and my co-host Justin Scott saying aloha mahalo, and we'll catch you on the next BlueNote Fan Report. Could be on the mainland.